So, hi, why don't you introduce yourself?
My name is Lee Bisset. I'm singing the role of Tosca.
Fantastic. And you've sung this role before, is that right?
Yes.
Yeah. But never in America.
Never in America. This is my US debut.
Fantastic. So is this a role that you really look forward to? I mean, it's quite an intense role. Is it something that you look forward to performing, or is it something that when you go home at the end of the night, you're glad to shake it off?
No, I love it. It is a very intense role. That's for sure. It's a very, she goes on a huge journey in the course of the evening, and it's actually far more intense rehearsing it than performing it.
Mm-hmm.
We were doing Act 3 today, and I remembered now why often when I do roles, you go through all the angst and you come off and everyone's high as a kite, but you're not, or I'm not, because I've just gone through, I've just died or whatever. And I haven't been in this role, and I remember why not, and it's because I shouldn't be saying this. I'm not supposed to be giving
Oh
it
no,
away.
that's okay. I can always edit it out.
Okay.
That's all right. Or I could bleep it out. I don't know.
Okay.
I'll figure something out. So one thing I wanted to ask you about, because this is something that when I've worked on the piece has always fascinated me, is Tosca's relationship to God, and especially in Visi d'arte, because it's her relationship to the Virgin Mary is clearly very strong. She brings the flowers and she does that. But in terms of Visi d'arte, you're sort of talking to God in this. Can you talk a little bit about, I don't know, about what that means to you or how you play that?
I think that Tosca, although she's an opera singer and on the surface she has all the sheen of a very glamorous life, she's actually a very simple woman, and she has a very direct relationship to God. She's a very devout Catholic, and although she does things that good Catholic girls shouldn't do, Cavaradossi actually says, I can't tell her anything because she tells everything to her confessor. She goes back to the confessor every day, and so I think she has this she feels she can just talk to God the way that I'm sitting talking to you now.
Right.
And that's why it's such a letdown for her when she gets to Visi d'arte, because she thinks she's done everything right. And so far, her life has been a dream. She's finally met this guy. She's met Cavaradossi, who has changed her life, who is everything that she's ever wanted. She goes to church, she has beautiful frocks. Everybody kind of does what she wants because she's the diva. And then suddenly, in the course of one day, everything changes. And so I think Visi d'arte is that she can't figure out why. And it is a sort of, why me? Because I did this and you asked me to, I gave my jewels to the Madonna. I sang for God. I did everything that I'm supposed to. So why would all this happen to me now?
In the play, I don't know if you've ever read the play, but she was in a convent, and the Pope herself gave her permission to leave the convent to be a singer.
Yes.
And I mean, boy, talk about pressure.
Yes.
When the Pope says, you know what, you shouldn't be a nun, you should go sing for the glory of God.
Yes.
Talk about some pressure to go and perform.
Yes,
but,
and she was about 15.
Yeah, exactly,
when that
exactly.
So she's, in a way, she's been catapulted to fame from an early age.
Yeah.
So she's got that balance between having had it really rough as a child. She was an orphan and they found her tending goats or something in the play. And she comes from that to skyrocketed to fame. So she's like a kind of Britney Spears. She's kind of troubled like that.
Right. I like that. In terms of, that leads us actually into the idea of her jealousy. One of her defining characteristics is her jealousy, and it's really her fatal flaw. It's the thing that Scarpia is able to turn against her. Can you talk a little bit about that and how you play that kind of, because it's such an illogical emotion, it must be harder to play than you know, say love or something like that, or maybe not.
Well, it's obviously directly linked to love.
Mm-hmm.
I think it comes from her insecurity, from this childhood that we've just talked about, that who does she trust when everyone adores her, when they don't really know who she is? And I think there's a lack of belief in herself, and yet she's found this man who, anytime you see in Act 1, anytime she's insecure, he knows all the right things to say to her, and he means it. And he's an artist, he understands her, he kind of doesn't get her religion, but it doesn't matter. He says to her at one point, I love everything about you, and that includes her insecurity, so that when there's a threat of that being taken away from her, she reacts in an extreme way. She reacts in a way like a spoiled child, but she acts like a diva who's been used to getting everything she wants, and then something which is the most precious thing in her life is taken away from her. And at the end, I think there's a sense when she envisages their new life together that actually none of that, the singing, it doesn't matter. All that matters is him, and that's part of the journey that she takes as well. I think is that he is the most important thing, that she will do anything to save.
So you've also played another one of Puccini's great heroines, Mimi.
Yes.
So are there contrasts between the two of them? Do you have, dare I ask, do you have a favorite between the two of them?
Well, I think you would rather go for lunch with Mimi, because you would rather have Mimi as your best friend.
Mm-hmm.
But Tosca's far more fun to play. I think Mimi is sweet and lovely and so self-sacrificing. You know, she realizes that her man is the most important thing in her life, but that her relationship with him is damaging him, that he's the jealous one, and it hurts him so much that she says, okay, we have to finish it. Even though she knows that she's dying, and she's really again a wonderful heroine, but not as dramatic, not as fun in a way.
So shifting gears for a moment, so you apparently you're not from around here.
Yes.
I've detected. So you grew up in Scotland.
Yes.
You know, one of the things that we struggle with in the opera community in America is that a lot of people think of opera as being very, you know, upper crusty and elitist and stuffy and sort of boring. And so, you know, a lot of the work that we all do is just trying to break down those barriers and shatter those myths about what opera is. I'm curious in Scotland how people think of opera, how people view it. Is it something that you grew up with in the schools, or is it just, you know, did people look at you funny when you said, I'm going to be an opera singer?
I hate to tell you, but I think what you're doing, that battle that you have, is an international battle. In Scotland, people care more about football. And
she means soccer.
Sorry.
It's okay, she means soccer.
They do, they care more about soccer. And the irony is that people think, oh, opera is so expensive, but actually it's far more expensive to go to a soccer match, and yet that's seen, you know, people would never think twice about paying to go to see Rangers or Celtic.
Sure.
Unless you're from Wales. Wales is an amazing country where everybody sings. And I remember once doing an education project in Wales, again with this this fervour to spread the word of opera, and we went to schools and we all sang a bit, and then they said, okay, we're going to sing for you, and they stood up and did a big chorus from Les Mis, and they were amazing.
Wow.
They absolutely put us to shame.
Oh, lovely. Oh, fantastic. I love that. Well, thank you so much for sitting down and answering some questions, and we're looking forward to seeing you on stage in the role of Tosca on October 29th.
Pleasure.